Hello, everyone. Hi, and thank you for being with us today on the Spotlight on App Innovation AI series. And this is our second session for this series. My name is Moria, and I'm here today with Yarden Dor and Adi Stein. Together, who will you meet soon. I'm the Regional Reactor PM of the Reactor. And for those of you who are new to the reactors are community spaces where we have physical location in different locations worldwide, but we also offer programming online globally. So you can really join our programming from everywhere in the world, and we offer it on different time zones on various different technologies. You can scan the QR code and learn more about the Reactor program and subscribe to our events so you can stay updated with the upcoming events that we offer other than today's session. So the Reactors uses a lot the Microsoft Learn platform. I don't know if you know the platform or not. We're gonna start chatting with you soon. But the Microsoft Learn platform is actually a free platform that Microsoft offers that gathers a lot of learning paths and modules for developers and for organizations. You can study on different technologies. You can get certifications, live videos, on-demand videos, and so on. If you scan the QR code now, you will reach Microsoft Learn. We are also going to share the link soon in the chat, so no worries about that. Specifically for today's session, this is just an example of how a Microsoft Learn modules look like. But if you scan the QR code, you will reach these learning opportunities. Specifically for today's session, we wanted to share with you the AI Learning Hub. So the Learning Hub of Microsoft Learn actually offers you, it gathers all the relevant learning paths and model that Microsoft Learn offers on AI. So of course it's relevant for our series today, and it can really customize your experience. If you answer a few questions, Microsoft Learn will offer the relevant learning opportunities for you. It's really super cool. It's free. You can take it. You can join it from anywhere, from your house at your own time, whenever you are available. So you can scan the QR code now and reach the AI Learning Hub of Microsoft Learn. So back to the Reactor sessions. We will quickly jump into today's session, but before that, I wanted to share another series that we're working on that actually kicked off, I think, 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow will be the third session. It's a series specifically for generative AI for software developers. The third session is tomorrow, 11 a.m. Israel time, so I'm not sure where you're joining from. You can scan the QR code and access the rest of the sessions that are available on this series. Tomorrow will be coffee chat with documents as a service from 0 to hero. So if you're interested about learning more on this session and this series, you can also check out our website or the series page specifically. So today's series, Spotlight on Application Innovation in AI. This is the second session. We kicked it off last week with a great session by April Edwards on DevBoost for developer productivities. It was really great, so I recommend you to check out our YouTube channel and watch the recording on demand. Today is the second sessions. We have 7-8 sessions for this series in total. This QR code will lead you to the other sessions in the series. So in case you didn't register yet, highly recommend you to register for the upcoming sessions as well. Take a minute, please, to check our code of conduct for this event. I will leave it in the screen now for a minute, and really appreciate if you can stay friendly, patient, and respectful for others in the chat. Okay, so this is my last screen from my end. Again, showing you the resources that we have for the Reactor. You can find us on Meetup. We're on Facebook. You can scan the QR code now. You can subscribe to our events and visit our website. And last thing I wanted to mention is that this event is actually recorded and will be available on demand on our YouTube channel. You can just go to the same link straight after this event, and you will be able to access it again. And now I'm going to pass it over to Adi Stein, my colleague, who's going to share with you today's agenda. Adi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Moria, and good morning, good noon, good evening from wherever you are joining us in the world. So today, like Moria said, is our second session in the track of the Accelerate Developer Productivity. And last week we've heard April Edwards speaking about GitHub Copilot and also announcing the new enterprise license that GitHub announced on the same day that we have the event. For today, we have a full and really packed agenda. We call it tapas because we have a lot of little topics that we're going to cover. So we're going to start with Mario and myself. We're going to speak about turbocharged developer productivity, which is how we as Microsoft look at the developer journey end to end, and to share with you about our services, product view on the developer productivity. And next off, we're going to move to have one of the amazing cloud advocates that Microsoft have actually in the world, which is Rory Predis, joining us from South Africa. We're going to speak about developer flow and AI. And we're going to have some hands-on demos about the latest tools and the greatest tools that we have for productivity. And then we're going to have an amazing session by Jonathan and Batel from JFrog, one of the promising Israeli startups that we have, and they're going to show us how they are using GitHub Copilot. And lastly, we're going to leave you and equip you with a lot of resources, which, it's a cheat sheet, it's upcoming events, training days, so you will be able to continue to learn. And with that, let's go to the next slide. I would like to present Mario, which is the CIMA App Innovation GTM lead, which will present himself. Hey, Mario. You are muted, I believe.
Yes, thank you so much. That's a good sign. So thank you so much, Adi, for inviting me for the event, for the series. My name is Mario. I'm working for Microsoft for like 17 years already. Last 5 years, I'm go-to-market lead for more than 100 countries in Azure App Innovation space, including developer tools. So in my job, I help developers and their companies to understand and effectively use our innovative Microsoft services and tools so that they, or you specifically, can be the best developers in the world. This is my kind of approach to what I'm doing. The reason why this is important right now is that I want to show you what we, as a Microsoft, can do for you to make your job easier, faster, and sometimes more effective. At the same time, also to bring some specific business benefits to your company too. So let me start with telling you probably something quite obvious, let's say, that the world is changing. And especially in last year, the pace of the change was super fast, and everything is changing. Both the industries who are trying to adapt to those changes, who are trying to transform rapidly. Also, this also changing the economics of the the small companies, the whole countries, and also the whole world. And of course, the technology is changing super fast. Probably something you maybe saw already. The graph, which is showing, how long it took some of the technologies to get to the 100 million users. And probably, the longest path is like with the mobile phones. 16 years to get 100 million users on board for this technology. Then 7 years for the internet, 100 million users, internet in 7 years. Then for the Facebook, it took them like 4.5 years. The last one, which I wanted to show you, is of course something that probably you already know, which is ChatGPT. It took 3 months for the ChatGPT to get 100 million users on board. The change is super fast. So this is one thing that you as a developers, you need to also keep up with this change. The challenge, which is additional kind of a layer for you, is also the landscape of all of the tools, all of the technologies which are available for you to use in your daily job, in your projects, in your companies like applications and work. So this is how it looks if you look only for the landscape of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data. And there's a good and bad news. Bad news is that you need to have at least some view on those technologies. Good news, I hope, from our side is also that we are trying to help you. We are, as a Microsoft, all in many segments of those technologies, and we are trying to help you in understand those things. And specifically for you, as a developers, the software development is for sure changing, especially with the AI and with the changes that it implemented in many tools you are using and you are having. What we are seeing that 70% of developers believe that AI tools offer disadvantages in upskilling and productivity. Also, many organizations we are working on a daily basis in the whole world, they are saying that the good approach for the whole platform engineering helps them to better realize all of the DevOps benefits. The third topic also, which we are seeing in the discussion with the customers, is also the security, which is super important topic for us as a Microsoft and for you as a developers and also for your companies. Second thing is that whenever we are thinking about the helping developers, we want to be more productive and also to give those benefits not only directly to you, but also to your companies, to get the better benefits and better business results here from that. There are some challenges we are also seeing and hearing. First thing is that developers, you have some preferences in tools they are using, and there are so many things that you can choose from for those things. Second thing is the time spent onboarding, task switching, and troubleshooting. I think the Rory will show you some of the flow things, how he is kind of preventing some of those challenges you may have in your daily work. Of course, the siloed teams and projects, it's something probably you are also observing, and security and increased risk. Whenever we are building more and more line of the codes, the security challenges is going higher and higher. This is what we are seeing on the market. Second thing, what I wanted to tell you is why potentially you can listen and you want to listen to us as a Microsoft, because we have the very own experience on that. We have almost 80,000 developers in whole Microsoft in the world. We are using their brain power, their experience, they kind of things they have in their heads to bring our products to life. And we have this direct experience, what they are thinking, what they are saying, what their pain points are, etc. We have this experience. Second thing, with the GitHub, we have great tools, platform, and even much more with those more than 100 million developers which are on the platform. Also, almost 40 million of developers using Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code to create the code. So we also have this experience in the data, in the analytics, etc., etc. And our leaders are also part of kind of a big projects. Probably you recognize sometimes on the screen also Python, Kubernetes, TypeScript. These are the people who are also participating very closely with those projects. And also market sees us as a leaders in GitHub and Azure DevOps platform. Gartner is showing us, as a have the better or the best completeness of the vision for the DevOps platforms. And the idea with this platform is that we want to give you these flexible coding tools, really seamless collaboration, with the power of our platform, of Azure especially, the power to scale all of your solution. And of course, with some of the things that you will see also today in many presentations, the increased speed of yours, doing the things like what you are doing. Last slide from my side, and I will switch to Adi in a second. I wanted to show you, and Adi will show you this, that we want to turbocharge the developer productivity using our developer stack with the the developer tools, including things like DevOps, including Visual Studio, etc., with our engineering platform, which for us is GitHub, and with the deployment environments, which for us is, of course, the Azure, all around with a lot of things implemented by us from the AI perspective, and also with the security in mind. Those 4 pillars, which you're seeing at the bottom, is something that Adi will take you into the journey in a second and show you how we are implementing this, unleashing creativity with the power of AI, optimizing workflows and boosting collaboration, secures what matters, and at the end, unlocking complete tool chain. So thanks so much. Adi, over to you.
Thank you, Mario. Let's see if I can switch the slides. Okay. So this one is one of my favorite slides that we are speaking about developer productivity. We can actually see here how Microsoft is, like Mario just says, using all of our platform, whether it's the Visual Studio family, whether it's GitHub or Azure, to unleash the developer productivity, satisfaction, creativity with the power of AI, optimize the workflow, securing what matters, and unlocking the tool chain. And what we're going to do right now is that we're going to deep dive into each one of those points that we discussed about to show you what tools available from our end. And when we speak about AI and how we are infusing world-class AI and machine learning throughout the development cycle or life cycle, it's not just what's coming next, right? It's now. And Microsoft understands this. And this is already implementing across our entire portfolio better than anyone else. And one of the most exciting capabilities that we have recently launched with GitHub is a service we call GitHub Copilot. We had a session last week with April Edwards and also with Matan. 2 amazing sessions that you definitely need to watch if you haven't already. And we're going to see Rory and we're going to see JFrog team also presenting how they're using it, how it helps them with the productivities while they are developing. Next up, we're going to speak about how to optimize workflows and how to boost collaboration through DevOps and inner sourcing automation and self-service standardized templates and environments. CI/CD tools like GitHub Actions are incredibly helpful for automating workflows from code to cloud. GitHub Actions can accelerate delivery times via automation, granting you access to automation triggers for 20+ project events, and that enable you to automate beyond just the CI/CD to any available API. By the way, write on the chat if you're using GitHub Copilot, so the rest of the folks will be able to see if you are familiar with that or beginners, and also GitHub Actions. Are you using GitHub on your daily development processes? And if we're speaking about GitHub Actions, because it's a GitHub product, it gives you access to thousands of open source GitHub Actions maintained by GitHub community and other companies offering integration, including Microsoft Azure. Load testing, are you familiar with that? With Azure load testing, you can optimize app performance at scale. This fully managed load testing service makes it easy to generate high-scale load, and it can be used with both GitHub Actions and Azure DevOps. Azure load testing makes it much easier for organizations to maximize their application performance, scalability, and capacity. Then, with Azure deployment environments, you can promote collaboration and consistency while minimizing setup time. For developers, the speed and usability are critical. And it's important to ensure that you have the convenient self-service access to the infrastructure that you need, that is critical for you, to focus on the building and testing the apps without interruptions. At the same time, effectively managing security, compliance, and cost requires centralized controls in the hands of IT admins and dev infra teams. By reducing the time and effort required to set up those environments, you can focus on what you do the best, getting creative. DevBoost. I wonder, probably Roy will touch that as well. He really likes DevBoost, as well as, this tool, this product made a lot of Microsoft internal employees really happy, really satisfied, reduced a lot of barriers. So let's discuss Microsoft DevBoost. This development tool offers devs self-service access to high-performance cloud-based workstations that are pre-configured and ready to code for a specific project. When we say ready to code, we mean it helps to maximize dev productivity with ready-to-code self-service workstations that have been pre-configured for specific projects and tasks. It's flexible but controlled. You can customize workstation with everything that you need for your current project, but also to adhere to make it sure that it's comply with the organizational standards. It's managed, it's secure, you can centralize governance of the workstation running anywhere to maintain the security and compliance and cost effectively. The third item that Mario presented was Shift Security Left. Next week, if you haven't registered for that, so we're going to speak about the DevSecOps, both from the point of view of Microsoft security features and tools, but also from the GitHub security team. So I do recommend you to join next week as well. And when we speak about our Microsoft developer stack, so we boost a proactive security solution by embedding security directly in the developer workflow. It helps to bridge the gap between the DevOps and the SecOps teams to better secure development environment with the combination of GitHub and Azure, and a unified set of DevSecOps tools pulled from Microsoft eventID to instill zero trust security. Azure Monitor also helps to detect and fix issues quickly by separating the signals from the noise and applying advanced analytics and machine learning algorithm to your data. So finally, when we speak about tool chain and how to the tools that a developer needs, so those end-to-end view is unlocking a complete tool chain that help organizations and developers to get more done with fewer resources. And it helps you to embrace a complete development to help you drastically shorten the time to market, thanks to the right tools to improve velocity, reduce friction that's caused by workflow management across multiple platforms. And we look at it to help you with plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, and monitor your software. In addition, you can include your favorite IDE and repository tool with the Visual Studio and GitHub and variety of natively integrated tools. So, like it was important to us to show you that because often you are getting familiar with just like specific services, but actually, there is a lot more that you can actually check out or use to help you to reduce all of those barriers and gaps. So to sum up, we have an extensive solution thanks to the combined forces of GitHub, the Visual Studio family, and Azure. You can simplify complex coding processes with seamless workflows from the rich Microsoft ecosystem. You can tap into your most creative side with the inclusion of the AI assistants that takes the daily repetitive tasks out of the equation, letting you focus on what you love, being creative. Get comprehensive cloud security management and workload protection to all of your assets anywhere. All those capabilities fully integrate with one another and are deployed together in Azure, making this a complete, unified solution for fast, cost-effective, and secure development. And for the DevX people that we have here in the crowd, you would love that slide. So the power of what we've shown you here is really can transform your business, and we have the data to back it up. So in 3 years with Azure, GitHub, Visual Studio, customers saw a 562% ROI. They also saw a 92% reduction in time to remediate, 75% saving in legacy tool maintenance, 30% increase in developer productivity, and 20% reduction in critical app downtime. Okay, Adi, I like it. So where do you get started with that? First off, you can learn more about the DevOps solution that we have on the Azure website, on the Azure DevOps. I will share the links in a minute. And then you can set up a free trial of GitHub Enterprise to kickstart your journey, to try it if you haven't already. Third, you can benchmark your developer velocity journey, and it's in a free assessment that you can actually do, and to have the score for your organization, so you'll know how to improve. And many of you that are watching are Microsoft accounts or customers. So if you do familiar your customer account team, I do recommend you to reach out to them to ask how can you can leverage the Azure Innovate program, which means that both Microsoft and both our dearest partners have some budget to help you with running your and creating your POC, and also later on for post-production. So those are great funds that you can try to and leverage to your apps that you are building and new project. And it's here to empower you to develop new thing and also inject the AI and also GitHub into your organization. Okay. And with that, I would like to introduce one of the top advocates that we have in Microsoft. I really like to watch every session that you are delivering, Rory, and I will let you present yourself.
Thank you, Adi. Wow. Okay, so we've got a lot to cover. I want to introduce myself. My name is Rory. I'm a principal cloud advocate based out of Johannesburg, South Africa. And what I do is I travel around the world and I speak around the world and I show people fun stuff. So let's have some fun. Let's see if we can break some stuff. And let's talk about what's on everyone's mind, which is AI. And I've drawn a map there. It's actually Dali who drew a map there. And I said, okay, now we're going to help these people navigate this developer flow. What is flow? And AI. I'm going to show you how to do all of that. You can follow me on Twitter or X, as they call it now, on @RoryPreddy. And we're going to take 20 to 30 minutes, and I'm going to show you a lot. Now, the Reactor is one of our partners, and we were hosting the second Java conference that we've done. I'm going to be one of the hosts for the Asia section there, so you can go in and please go register now. When you see the list of speakers there, it's completely free registration and attendance though. jdconf.com, you can click on the QR code there. March 27th to 28th, I'm going to see you there. And we're doing a lot of AR stuff, a lot of the stuff that you're going to see today. We've got speakers like Josh Long, like myself, like the Microsoft Java team that is going to go through that. So today we're going to go through an introduction, some background to where we are. We're going to go through developer tooling, GitHub Copilot. I'm going to go deep dive into GitHub Copilot, the Azure Developer CLI, and then we're going to look at DevSecOps. We're going to cover a lot of the topics that Adi mentioned there. I love DevBox. I'm going to show, and the entire demo I'm going to do is going to be on a DevBox. And that's the demo. Okay, so Copilot. Everyone's saying Copilot this, Copilot this. How did we actually get to the point of an application using modern AI to assist you with complex cognitive tasks? How did we get to there? The reason we get to there, and we've covered it also, Mario covered it there, is we've got tons of products, and we've taken the foundation models that we've spent a long time with, 4 years, with Microsoft and OpenAI, and we've embedded those into our products though. So we've got ChatGPT, Office 365, Copilot on Windows, Copilot Assistant for sellers, and Copilot Assisted Coding though. It's all fueled by research here. We've got researchers across the world here. We're one of the biggest research firms in the world. And we created the Copilot stack. Yo, we have a stack now. And one of those parts of the stacks, if you can see there, is the AI orchestration, the little middle layer there, AI orchestration. We're going to be covering that a little bit there. But we also have Microsoft Copilot and GitHub Copilot. And these things kind of speak to AI models themselves, though. GitHub Copilot actually uses a model hosted on OpenAI. So we're going to look at how you can utilize that by really showing you just two tools. We're going to optimize it by using GitHub Copilot, and we're going to build an application with GitHub Copilot that uses the Azure OpenAI. And my daughter actually gave me the idea. She said, Dad, go create a storybook for me and use AI generation and then chuck it on Azure with the Azure Developer CLI. Now, I'm going to do some of this demo with screen recordings because it's sped up a little bit. And the others, don't worry about it. I'm going to try to break the code with live as we progress there. So, Rory, but you said this is a flow. What is flow? What are you talking about flow? So we did a survey recently, and we did a couple of thousand developers who use GitHub Copilot. And we said to them, what do you like in it? And they said 88% of them came back and said, we love GitHub Copilot. Because of what it really does, it helps me with focus. I get into the flow of focus. It helps me with inspiration. Once I'm in that flow, I can say to myself, I can come out of it. I can lose the focus, but I can just ask it, inspire me, help me, be creative. And then finally, I can also be enjoyment. I can have fun. I can gamify that. This is one of the things that I love doing on with GitHub Copilot. I go in there and say, show me something new. Let me try this out here. And I'm going to show you here with the demos exactly what I did. I'm not a JavaScript developer, but I'm going to show you how much fun I had with that. You can go in there, and we've got the survey there, aka.ms/flow-state, and go read that survey there. It's absolutely fascinating about how you can get into the flow. But Rory, you're going to show me how to do it. Yeah, I'm going to show you to do that because I'm going to use GitHub Copilot, which goes in and gets context for where I am. I'm going to say to it, I'm here, do this for me. And it's going to go, I know how to do that. And first of all, I'm going to show you the first part of the state. And I'm going to say, GitHub Copilot, hey, I want to start a project. And, you know, I'm a Java developer. And you just, I'm going to host the Java conference. But I want to show you that I did this. And I just said to it, I want to do a React application in JavaScript. I want to create a workspace. I want to do a task application, and I'm going to create a workspace. And I'm going to say to it, create a basic workspace for me, and then I'm going to elaborate. And remember, Copilot doesn't do everything for you. It is a Copilot. You're driving the plane with your little buddy there. So, okay, cool. Copilot, go create, and you can see here a React REST application to store tasks. Pretty simple. I've got the /create workspace. Now you have to, the new version actually is a /new/create workspace. They just changed the syntax recently. And I'm going to say to it, okay, go create a React REST application to store tasks. Okay, I've got the Copilot extension installed. Is this going to work though, Rory? And I'm going to just show you what I recorded. And it's going to think, and it's going to say, here's the REST application. Do you want to create it? Yeah, I want to create it. But it creates the files for me? Yeah, it actually goes in and creates the file. It creates the whole project for you. Understand also, if you say to it, hey, I want you to do this and that and this and that and that and this and that, there's a window that you have there, just like everything with ChatGPT. You're going to make the thing hallucinate if you ask it for too much. But the basic project start, the create workspace works. And now I've got my actual project. Now, the next thing I want to do, let's just go back. I was too quick there. I want to go /, and then we want to go, actually, I'm too quick for myself though. Let's just go up there for a second, create workspace, and it's going to create the workspace. Next thing I want to do is I want to unit test. Because I've got my application ready. I've got my workspace. I've got all my files there. I want to actually unit test it. That's another bit of the flow that stops and starts. If you can see what I'm doing here, I've got the workspace, and now what do I want to do? I've got the project already, but I want to check if it works though. So I want to go into unit testing. So I'm going to say to it, please go in. You can see there, I've got my tasks here. Please go in and / go test, generate the unit test for me. And it's going to go, cool, I can generate the unit test for you, and this is what you need to do. And then I just copied and pasted it over through to that. Do you see how there's enjoyment, how there's creativity, how there's flow in that sense? And it even explains to me how I can do it. Finally, you know what we don't like to do? We don't like to say we don't know what's going on here. So we want to go comments and explanations. So GitHub Copilot can do a lot of that for you. But I also want to go, okay, this test, I don't even know what it does. And I can select that. And I can go right-click on that. And I can go Copilot. Tell me what I just did, please. Like, okay. I don't worry about this. Get all tasks there. It's going to pass the JSON. And it's going to call the URL to go create a task. And I can also go Copilot, generate docs. So I can actually pretend I wrote all of it. So one is to create the workspace. Then I can create the tests. Then I can create the documentation around the tests that are, of course, I wrote every line of it, but it's meant to actually get you into the flow. And I've got my project now. But yeah, I can run this locally and everything, but I want to deploy this on Azure. Rory, how do you do that? Now, the biggest problem that people have when they do that, and this is where the flow kind of breaks also, is that they deploy it onto Azure and then they go, the glue that gets all of the Azure services, because you think you have to have which cloud libraries do I need? What are the roles and permissions? How do I set it up? How do I provision the infrastructure? How do I run it locally if I want to? How do I deploy to cloud monitoring observability, CI/CD pipeline? Now, you can get and write the Terraform scripts directly, or alternatively, you can use cloud native build packs. Now, what cloud native build packs do is they scan your project and they say to you, okay, cool, you're running this. I'm going to go patch that, create a Docker container for you. And then you don't have to worry about all of that glue that you have there in the cloud, because it goes and creates the service for you. And it does that by just following a very basic developer paradigm. You initialize, you create and provision the resources, and you can monitor it. And then you go in and you create the GitHub action. And then you've got your app in the cloud just with those commands. So here's initialize. I've got remember my task application. This is the same application I did. And I did this live in front of 1,000 developers at the Microsoft Build AI. And I've got my application. Then I go, okay, cool, initialize. And it's going to go in and it's going to create a, you can see there, use the code in the current directory. It's going to scan it and say, yeah, and I think you should use container apps. And I've got my Docker file there's my infrastructure, my bicep files, and I've got all my modules for the JavaScript here. And you see that I'm even visualizing the bicep files that I've got here. But wait, I need my Docker file. What are you doing here? And now if I go up, watch what it does there. It scans that same project, and then it goes in and it says initializing cloud native build packs, go scan it and create a Docker instance, create the container registry for that Docker instance also there, and then provision my resources. It's sped up a little bit there. Go create the container registry. It's even got a key vault for me. This is all automated because we understand that developers don't want to worry about that developer flow when it comes to cloud. Then deploy my services, deploying my application, and there's my task application. When I first did this, I was like, oh my gosh, I can code JavaScript. Not only that, I can code React. I created my workspace. I created my tests. I documented my code. I then pushed it to the cloud. I created a container registry with a container app, and it scanned, it patched everything for me. And then if I wanted to, I can monitor it also. And then I can do AZD pipeline config, which goes in and creates the GitHub action. Now that is the flow. But what happens if I don't want to create a task application? What happens if I want you to give me a template? We have 80 templates right now in that aka.ms/awesomeazd. So if you want to go in and with one command, just go azd init, it'll give you Azure OpenAI, React, Ruby on Rails, Python, PHP, Java, all of those things. And there's one of the things I did. I got phoned up by one of our colleagues. Adi will know them, Hussam, phoned me up and said, listen, you got 4 hours. I want you to speak at the United Nations, and I want you to do .NET, and I want you to do the ChatGPT demo for it. I don't know. Wait a second. I do know .NET. I do know how to do this because I've got the template there. And I went and I said, okay, cool. I'm going to show them how to do RAG with .NET. I'm going to show them how to do query with Azure Cognitive Search. Take the UN documentation. It was for a hackathon. Consume their documentation, all of the documentation on their site, pop it into Azure OpenAI. And then live on air, I consumed all the information. I took the Azure template, the ChatGPT template there. I created my resources. It then went and created, and you can see there, the cognitive service there, consumed all of that. And then I created the portal that I had there. I indexed all of their documentation, showed them that I can put it onto Azure Cognitive Search, and I've got chat with your data. Now, this is using .NET. I'm not a .NET developer, but I was able to do that because I could go in and use the Azure Developer CLI to go speak to their documents. They're using the RAG profile there. And I took all of their documentation and I created the hackathon material for the UNODC, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, for the anti-corruption hackathon that we did. I even showed them how to do the mega prompt there and how it does that with that though. But wait a second, Rory, this needs to be secure. How are you doing this actually? Now, DevSecOps is very important. You go through a very similar process with what we showed with the flow. The only difference is that you use something called a jump box, the dev box. Now, the dev box, I use it every day, every hour actually. It's ready to code, project-based, it's secure, there are great specs. I have a 32 CPU and 64 gig RAM dev box I can access anywhere in the world, and it's already set up for me. And the nice thing is that it's already set up very well to go with DevSecOps though. So you've got your dev box there, you've got your Copilot, which runs in the dev box. You can use VSCode.dev also, and then you can use GitHub Actions or Azure pipelines and running on Azure to be secure, and then scan it also with Azure AD and Sentinel. And then what you have is an incredible demo that I'm going to do live on air for you. So what I'm going to show you now is using the dev box, which I have over here with the inner loop. I'm going to create an application using GitHub Copilot. I'm going to push it to GitHub. It's going to use GitHub Actions to go build, test, and deploy. I'm also going to show you Playwright and a test there. And then you could use GitHub CodeQL, and it's going to use Azure OpenAI to go in and create that nice little book that I showed you that my daughter recommended I show there, running on Azure App Service on Tomcat. Yeah, that's quite a lot. 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps, 6 steps, 7 steps, 8 steps. But this is very easy. You know that I did this in an hour with GitHub Copilot. I just explained it to and it did it for me. So let's jump out of here. Now what should I'm going to do? I'm going to open up here my dev box. So this is my dev box, and I'm going to go my pin here. So this is a box sitting on a cloud as close as I can get to wherever I want. Now, this is, as an advocate, I was given like 3 or 4 of them. So, but these can also be pre-configured according to the spec or the security that your team has there. And I'm going to show you exactly quickly how to actually do that. You actually go in to a DevBox configuration. It's going to take a few seconds to, there we go. And you go into your DevBox configuration here. You can see Microsoft DevBox, and you can just go new DevBox, and you can say, what's the name of your DevBox? What's the cloud? What's the repository URL if you want here? And you can upload the customized file there. And then you also can specify over here, you can specify the size of the file, the DevBox you want. So this is a 16 CPU, 32 gig RAM one. And I just want to close this here. So this is the test that we're going to run. And let's go back into here. So I want to show you this from start here. So I want to actually go into here, and I want to go, oh, yes, we're going to start this. We're going to go close folder. I'm going to start from 0, and I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to say, hey, GitHub Copilot, go create me a project, please. And I'm going to go on my dev box. Now, follow me here because I'm on my dev box on GitHub Copilot. And I'm going to say, yeah, go create a project for me. And I want you to go in, hey, workspace, create a new Maven project. I'm a Java developer. And add the dependencies on for me. And then also create a JSP file, which is an HTML file, and pass it in animal. And then go call Azure OpenAI with that animal and create a story for me. What? You can do that? Yeah. So and then I'm going to go, okay, cool. And remember, this is on my dev box. Here's the project that you have with the servlet that you have there. And then you just go create workspace, and then you go dev, and you do it though. So to speed up a time a little bit, I already have the project there. So I want to show you a little bit more to go a little bit quicker here. So I've got my project here. Next thing I want to say to it, okay, cool. I want to elaborate a little bit on the servlet here. I want you to create, and I've already kind of got it there also because the law of demo says that it might not work though, but I've got my project here. Just go create the servlet for me a little bit here. Let's go in here. And I wanted to do a little bit more elaborate. Remember, Copilot is your partner. It doesn't do everything for you. So go in there and finish it off there. Go call it an image with the story that is generated from that animal. So I take like a dog, and it says the dog, a nice pet of Sam, went in and ran through the park. Now create that story, go create an image for it. And this was all inspired by my daughter. And you can see there, I just passed it in a prompt, a story that I had an idea, and it went and create everything. There's the get image URL, the chat completions, everything for me though. So I have that, and here's my animal generator that I have. And just to speed up things here, here's my project here. And now in my inner loop, which is my developer loop on my dev box, I can go into my community server here, and I can just go, okay, so the server here, let's go in. We just want to refresh that. We want to refresh it. Yeah, let's just go start, connect to that. Starting here. Now I can debug it, and I can debug it here, and I can start it up here, and I can add the server. So let's go into server. And I also created, obviously, the JSP file here. And the servlet this is a very simple JSP file that it created for me here. This basically added some CSS file, and it just goes animal generator, and you pass it in an animal there. And then the animal generator says, get the animal and go in and create a story. Let's go in here and go, and it even does the flux for me. So I can go in here and I can start, and I can start my local configuration. Let's go stop. Let's go start server here. And this is important because the flow needs to go in. I'm locally deving on my dev box. And then I want to go, okay, cool. Everything's working. Let's run. Let's test it here. So let's go server actions, show in browser. And I want to go local port there. And I'm going to go, okay, cool. Remember, this is live on air, everyone. Okay, cool. What do we want here? And I want to do a, what kind of animal do I want? I want a unicorn. Unicorn. I think that's an animal. Generate the story. Now, this is locally here. So once I'm happy with that, I want to hand it over to my testing team. And my testing team might use Playwright to actually go in and do a test here. So let's just see. In a magical forest, the lonely unicorn discovered a friendship with a shy doe. So I've got it, and I can debug it also because it's local here. But I want to run this and as a test here. So I've asked Copilot to go in, and I've said to it, okay, go in and create. Let's go into here. Go create a Playwright test for me. And let's go create a no. So this is the problem. I can barely. I've got to the point of my career that Copilot has made me a cut and paste coder that I can just demo like that. I'm working on a Playwright test that generates image. Go test it for me. So it's the same test that I have here. Sure, here's the Playwright test. So then I go into my actual test, and I can run the test project end to end with my Tomcat instance running locally. And here's my test project here. And it understands everything that I'm doing, and you can get access to the underlying code that it is accessing. So I can run this here. started. And then I just go into my test explorer here, testing here, and I can just go run. Now, what this is going to do, it's going to use Playwright, which is Selenium, and it's going to start a browser instance of the Chrome browser. Where are we? Let's just make sure that it is going to run. Did it run? I think I went a little bit too quick for it to even go. Let's go run there. There we go. And it's running. It's going to go show browser. So there we go. It's going to show it, and it's going to just randomly add an animal there. But the flow is important. So we created the workspace. We created the servlet. We then created the Playwright test. Look at that. It's even created the Playwright test for me. It's run through it there. The testing is fine. Next thing, the last thing I want to do, hey, go push this to Azure. Now, you can actually use the Azure Developer CLI, but I did that demo for you. I want to actually show you, okay, let's just close that there. I must make sure I don't close the dev box, just the project. Yeah. Let's go into that. Let's go back into that Tomcat project there. Okay, here we are. Now, go in and create a GitHub action for me. Rory, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to say, create 2 jobs there. Create a build job that's going to go in and build my application, my Tomcat application using Maven, and then go do a deploy job there. And then use the Azure credentials for my secrets. And you're just talking to it. You're just flowing with it there. Cool. Rory, here's the YAML file. It's checking out the code. It's creating them. It's even caching. It even caches the Maven packages. It uploads it internally. It builds it there. It downloads the artifact. It logs into Azure using my credentials there, and then it deploys it. So will this work off the bat, though? I've already got the GitHub action here. If you go into there, there's my GitHub action there. And now live on air, I'm going to actually just go README, and I'm going to go for ID. I'm going to go for ID, and I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to go, let's go for ID. And now I'm going to go commit and push. Commit and push. And then we're going to take some questions if there are any here. But live on air, I'm going to show you that this is going to commit, push it to my Azure app service that I had there already. And then it is going to, do you see the flow that you have there? So the flow, you start with the create instance, the create workspace. You create your application. It helps you create your application. It goes in there and tests it with Playwright. It then goes in and you can create your GitHub actions. It pushes it to Azure. You can use Azure Developer CLI to do all of that for you into a container app with cloud native build packs though. But you can also do this on the dev box. So this is not even on my PC that I have here. So if I go into here and I go into GitHub actions, we should see that it's, oh, there it is. It's running right now. And it's in the build stage there. And I can go see what it's running. And I can just click it here. And I don't even have to leave Visual Studio though. But if I wanted to, I can though. And then I can go, okay, setting up the job, running through this. And this is highly optimized with GitHub Copilot. And Adi, this was for you. It's logging into Azure there. You do have to go in and on your repo there, just create that Azure credentials. And that's just a service principal that you can run there. And once you have that service principal, then you can run any GitHub actions authenticating against your profile, your Azure subscription though. And I do find that Azure Developer CLI is a little bit easier because when you do Azure Pipeline Config, it does all of that for you. It just, it does all of the GitHub actions, all of that for you. Oh, it's done. And then there's my Tomcat application. The moment of truth, everyone. Let's do another. This is now on Azure. We pushed it live on air there. So let's go. Okay, let's go do a cat. Let's see if this works. Drum roll, everyone. We're going to see if there's a cat. And the flow from my local instance on my dev box to my Azure instance here, pushed with GitHub actions. And there's my cat. And in a quaint town, a mischievous cat named Whiskers created joy. It's playful antics, fostering bonds with neighbors, erasing loneliness, radiating. There's mine. And it uses DALL-E. And I found out how to do that by actually asking GitHub Copilot. And it was just exploring my own options. So I want to show you now the final slide that I have there. Let's go into cat. I want to minimize that. I want to remind you, please, I want to get out of the dev box. See, this is the problem. You get devception. I've got dev box here, and okay, there we go. There we go. And I want to go slideshow from current slides. I want to minimize that. So just to reiterate there, we showed you the inner loop, how easy it is on a dev box to do that with VS Code. You code, test, and debug. Then we pushed it to GitHub. We use the build process there and the deploy. We use Playwright locally on our our inner loop, but we can also use it on our feedback loop. You can use CodeQL to scan for vulnerabilities, but the code packs, the build packs that you would have used for Azure Developer CLI would have done that also. And then we can use Azure Monitor, and then we can feedback loop back into our dev cluster though. I want to remind you, please go register for for JDConf. It is being hosted by myself, and there's so many incredible talks that you're going to hear on AI with with Java, and also GitHub Copilot here. So I want to hand it back to Adi, but before I get started with that, I want to give you the links that I do. So if you want to download Copilot, you can go aka.ms/copilot-chat. If you want to use the developer CLI, you can go aka.ms/azure-developer-CLI. And then finally, if you want to learn everything that I showed you today, you can go aka.ms/awesome-azd. Over to you, Adi.
Ori, that was one of the most exciting things that ever someone did live for me. Whoa. You pushed to production for me, so thank you so much for that, Rory. It was an amazing session, and we can't wait to have you here again. And meanwhile, you can ask some questions on the chat for Rory. And let me welcome Yonatan Arbel and Batel Zohar from JFrog. Both Batel and Yonatan are dearest friends to us, and Batel have been amazing advocate and amazing sessions together throughout the last, I would say, 2 years. So first of all, welcome back, Batel. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you. And I will let you introduce yourself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adi. Rory, it was a fascinating demo. Thank you for that. My kids will definitely love this story generator. Okay, so let's start. So hi, everyone, and we are very happy to be with you here. And it's a great opportunity to thank Microsoft for having this stage to enriching the community. It's great. So today we will talk about AI model and why we should govern AI model and be aware of its threats, basically.
Exactly. So we saw how much easy it is and how much it's cool to use it. And today let's talk a bit about the security angle and talk about Copilot. So let's start with a simple example. All right, let's see. So a shipping company created, as you can see here in the picture, actually, they, of course, everybody loves bots, right? It's super easy, especially companies that doesn't need to create chat again or the support or something like that. They can just create a bot that will tell them if something is wrong, what they can do, and what will be the next solution. So in that case, it was really cool bot that's maybe they shouldn't use it, right? Like, look at the text here.
Just grab a model. Right?
Exactly. They just took the model, and unfortunately, it took the competitors as something better than the actual shipping company. In that case, it also can write some song, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's not what they meant to, right? They meant to get a bot that will help us to make some solution. So this is just a simple example, and today we're going to show you a little bit more than that.
So this AI bot basically betrayed them.
Yeah, of course, exactly. A simple betrayed.
Okay, so...
all right, I'll start.
Yeah,
cool. So here, my name is Batel Zohar, and I'm a developer advocate in JFrog. I love my friends in Microsoft, as Adi said before. So thanks for the stage. Thank you for being here today. I'm working in the industry in the last 8 years, something like that. I love to talk about DevOps and DevSecOps. So feel free to reach me out later on. And my amazing colleague here, Yonatan, will introduce himself.
So hi, everyone. My name is Yonatan. Recently transitioned into the DevRel position. I've been working for JFrog for the last 8 years as an R&D team leader, and did this amazing transition and having the opportunity to be with Batel here and speak with you. So let's begin.
Start. Yeah, let's have some fun.
Okay, so maybe some of you heard the name Hugging Face. Hugging Face, it's basically a very, let's call it a popular hub for models. Like, let's make it simple. Imagine GitHub for models. So it helps me basically accelerate my AI development. It's a central place where developers and data scientists basically can upload and already train a model, and not only upload but also fetching and using it. There are several more places like Hugging Face, Kaggle, and others, but today we will focus on Hugging Face.
So it's kind of a NuGet hub, right? Kind of a hub.
Exactly, it's a repository, and you can fetch. We call it a model, but it's like a package. I mean, it's someone else that developed it and trained it and then upload so others can use it. So Hugging Face, it's a major source for this pre-trained model, and as said before, it accelerates the process of AI application creation and model training.
Okay, that's really, really cool. But let's take one step back and explain a little bit more what we're going to do today. So let's move on to the next slide, please. So you've probably seen this software development lifecycle before. And today we're going to talk about the planning, analysis, design, implementation. Since you're already familiar with this, I'll just do it really quickly. We basically believe that we can add any AI tool to each and every one of the steps. And in that case, a lot of tools will help us how to get this full cycle, how to release fast and make sure that we are secure. And let's start with the beginning. All right. If we talked about packages, let's move one step back again to repository manager, please.
Yeah.
So, of course, whenever we're creating our package, our application, or our software, whatever you want to call it, we want to make sure that we're secure, right? That we have everything that we used before, that we have caching mechanism. So for that, first of all, we may want to use a universal binary repository manager, right? Because today I'm not just writing with Hugging Face. I'm basically will involve it with Python packages, with anything else that I would like to have as part of my application. Sorry, yeah, just get closer. Look at you. You are just disappearing.
Sorry, yeah, it's like I'm blurring myself.
yeah, sorry. So I want a universal binary repository manager that will support different package types, right? Because it's not only NuGet anymore. We have also NPM sometimes, and we're using Hugging Face, as we said. And of course, we want a single source of truth. For all of my artifacts, for all of my dependencies, I want to make sure that I can trust it. I want all the information about a package. I want to make sure when it's downloaded, who can download it, and block it if needed, of course, and proxy it for a remote repository. So, of course, today it's not so common, but what will happen if one day the repository went down, right? How you are getting the dependencies in that case. So I want to make sure that I have the proxy, the caching, and of course there is different solution in that case. But as you can see in the picture, I have kind of a server that keep everything I need in one place, and I can easily just deploy from there, and dependency CI manager that will work against it, right? I want to make sure that I can save it. And if we're talking about that, a really cool thing that actually Jonathan showed me today. I'm sorry, I'm too young for this. It's happened.
What are you saying, basically?
I'm sorry. So leftpad, if you heard about leftpad, it was an NPM package that when the creator decided to delete it, it's basically just destroy the internet, kind of, right? Destroy the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Like many other dependencies dependent on this specific package, and the author of this package just said it's my right to delete my package. I mean, I maybe I upload it, but I can delete it.
I think it's true. Like if I would upload something and I don't want it anymore.
It's true, but you need to have a backup plan for this.
Yeah, but
cases.
It's not my fault, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on. Today I want to talk with you about JFrog X-Ray because we talked about security and DevOps in general, and we will talk about JFrog X-Ray specifically with Hugging Face. Like as Batel said, repository manager can proxy your dependencies, and JFrog, this is what it does. It's basically out of other stuff, it's caching your dependencies and storing it, and also have the ability to scan and have an holistic approach to security and compliance. So basically, JFrog X-Ray can do some vulnerability analysis and remediation for these issues if found. Also, as said, license compliance, because sometimes you want to make sure that the package that you use or the model that you use are complying with your company policy, and you don't put your company in some risk that will get the lawsuit come to your office. You don't want to get them on you. Addition to that, you have an artifact metadata and metadata impact analysis, and this is an important stuff. And I want to pause here for a second, because these packages might be legitimate at first, but it always evolve and it gets patched and other versions, and it might get compromised, and some packages that were legit at the very beginning might become an harmful package and might do some bad stuff on your application.
Log4j. You probably heard about Log4j, all of you.
Exactly.
So,
Log4j.
This is a classic case for that, actually.
Exactly. So my point is that X-Ray are continuously keep scanning your dependencies, even if at first it was okay. X-Ray is backed by a research team and some other databases that getting refreshed every day and every couple of hours. So you always on track, and you always monitor the health and the security of your packages.
Mm-hmm.
And very important, whether you use GitHub Action, amazing GitHub Action, that we have some great integration with GitHub Actions, and we love GitHub Action, or other CI tools. Integration with DevOps workflow is very important, and to have it seamlessly in order to leverage your development security level. So this is super important, and like when it comes to security, you cannot allow complacency. You have,
for sure,
must. I mean, it's not a matter of maybe and if. Bad actors always there, and they always try to find and breach these little backdoors on your supply chain.
I agree. All right, so let's focus a little bit on security for a second. We have different steps, and we'll do that really quick. So first of course, the curation. I want to make sure that I'm injecting malicious packages before they are even getting to my organization. It's not that easy, but of course there is solutions today for that. So you can search for curation and create, which is the 0 days, right? What will happen if I have a 0 day? How I'm going to find another package that will support it, what I'm going to do in that case, and so on. And then we have package,
on package, basically we need to remember package in simple words, it's someone else's code, right? It's it's the majority of our application are built from someone else's code, because we don't start from scratch.
Exactly. Nobody's gonna invent the wheel for that. So.
Exactly. So because it's someone else's code, we need to make sure that we know what's inside and understand what are these packages on our development.
Sure.
Additionally, with that, promote, because once we decide, okay, we built everything and we have all the packages, and now we want to promote it, and sometimes we do this transition from development to production, and we want to make sure that we don't expose some secrets and API keys that we might not want to have there as a plain text, but as an environment variable, for example.
Yeah, and it's happened before, right? There is so many examples for plain text and secrets and even keys and stuff like that.
Absolutely, a very known, I won't point up the name, but a very known CI solution on cloud accidentally exposed some keys, and it can lead for a very bad stuff and results. Exactly, and it's also I mean, it's your name, it's your reputation.
Yeah,
you have
want
to
keep it.
So there are many tools for secret scanning, and you should take care for doing it before promoting. And when you distribute, you want to make sure that you use the right configuration and apply the right policies on that stage, because you don't want to compromise your application security only by using some misconfigured stuff. So it's always important to make sure that when you distribute, you have the configuration that you meant to have there.
Yeah. All right, deployment, of course, we want to make sure that our binary is secure and safe. As the same idea, we want to make sure that each and every step is secure. So one of them is to scan the binary. After everything is packed, everything is ready, we want to make sure that there is also pretty secure. And runtime, which is also pretty cool. What happens if we have attack on production, right? It depends also where you're running your code. If it's in the cloud, which cloud, which region, what we can find there, and so on a specific OS and stuff forward. All right.
So to concise, you need to have security in your minds from left to right,
exactly.
like in every and each step, right?
As Rory said, from shifting left, we want to have it everywhere.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Thank you, Rory.
All right. So let's talk a bit about implementation. So you know that there are different tools in the market that help us to create our software, like ChatGPT. So I just tried to ask him to create me a simple Docker file with Node.js application that was really cool, a copy paste. Most of the time it's working. Sometimes it's not really working, right? There is some buggy stuff there. But I actually figured out that there is a different tool for that. So I tried to use my friend Copilot for this. Yeah, look, I added the logo.
Nice.
It's cute. So actually with Copilot, we can create a few different things, like just add me, this one. The convert comments to code, as Rory said before, it's really, really cool. I can easily just convert the comments. I can see how to do that, and I get a code really quickly. I can do the autofill repetitive code, right? It's super annoying to do the same again and again just to add my const values. We're doing it a lot sometimes. So in one click, I have everything. It's so easy and so smart. And the alternative, I also like this feature a lot. I can easily see maybe I can do that better, more secure, faster, and so on. So I see different alternatives. Now we're going to show you how we added Copilot to our code that we created that's actually doing really cool stuff. You remember the cat from Rory presentation?
Yeah, exactly.
So show them. It's really cool.
It was a great closing. So basically, I need to make a small confession. I'm not a Python developer. I'm a JavaScript and C# developer. And it was like Rory said, you are the pilot, and the Copilot is sitting by next to you. I just need to ask Copilot, please tell me how I do the or conditioning. It's self-going, and I can find it in a second. But it was already there, and Copilot said, no, it's not the double pipe. It's just write or. Okay, thank you very much for that. So with no further ado, let's talk about our demo. So remember this Rory cat? So we have this cat again, and now he's trying to pretend and telling us he's a frog. And I mean, we can put a person to go and stand over there and say, you are not a frog, you are a frog, but it won't be cost effective, and we want a machine to do that for us. Mm-hmm. So let's jump for a quick demo.
Yes.
And also the link for this Jupyter notebook will be shared with you, so you can use it after then and try it yourself. We have some prerequisite here, so I won't delay on it too much, and I will just start by running all this prerequisite for the demo. Let's let it run. Yeah, run live on the demo. Great idea.
Yeah, that's really impressive to run a demo now.
Yeah. Okay, but it worked. So just as
far.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, right. So remember this frog? Let's see it again. So this cat, sorry. So this is the cat saying he's a frog, and no, I don't think he's a frog. So before we dive in, we implemented some policies on our JFrog platform to make sure that if we have a model that we try to use, because we are proxying our models via Artifactory, mm-hmm. and if we have a model that we don't want, that doesn't have a license,
yep.
We want to block it, because we don't want to put our business in
risk. Yeah, exactly. So maybe we can show it in the platform for a second.
Yeah, let's show it for a second.
You didn't jinx it yet. That's so impressive.
Yeah, it's working. Okay, so this is basically, by the way, the some of the proxied models that I used. But let's go and see this policy that I talked about. It's right over here. And I have this block unlicensed, which is one policy that applied on a Hugging Face watcher. I won't dive in too much, but in general, it's disallow unknown license, and it's blocking download and doing the stuff that I wanted to do.
Pretty simple. Yeah,
pretty straightforward, and it helps me. So we have this cat, and we want to start, first of all, fetch this model from Hugging Face. We use this Hugging Face Hub library. So let's start.
So basically,
And
here we're trying to download it, right? And then we're
exactly,
getting the-
exactly. We try to fetch these files,
Mhm.
and we get blocked by X-ray because it violates the rule that we just created. And we basically cannot move forward. Otherwise, we will get approval from security and compliance, and then we can ignore this rule, and it will allow us to continue. But it basically shifting us left and helping us prevent these mistakes that might put us in risk in terms of compliance, but not only, also security
And
vulnerabilities.
of course, we can add some automation, right? Because I don't want to wait for a long time. Like if something
Absolutely.
happened, I want to fix it immediately.
Absolutely.
cool.
So you get all the remediation suggestion and so on.
Okay. Cool.
But let's move on, and now we want to do some fun and fetch another package. In this example, it's the Google Olvit. Let's run it.
So basically, here it's a different package because we blocked by another one, right?
Exactly. So if we go on our JFrog platform under packages, we can see I just did some filtering by a Hugging Face ML repository. And this is the Olvit that we are using. We can see that he has an Apache 2.0 license, and the other one doesn't have. So this is the main reason why it was blocked.
That's what it was.
So let's start with doing some other preparations for our demo. Hopefully it will work. And again, this cat, because now he's not leaving us, and he keeps stating, "Trust me, I'm a frog. I'm a frog." And it's time to use a machine to understand if he is a frog.
Okay.
So we have some text queries here, which it's a frog and a cat, and this model gonna move over these objects and try to identify each object what it is.
Right.
And here you can see this for loop where we have a default green and text queries for our objects. But if label is not 0, which means is not a frog, then I want to have an outline of red, like a red rectangle, and caption of it, intruder. So why just talking? Let's
just show it.
Just cross fingers.
It will work,
hopefully.
Ooh.
And now we have this machine helping us understand who is frog and who is the intruder.
Nice kit.
Yeah. Okay, great. So
yeah,
let's move on.
Awesome. So let's get some takeaways, right? You heard this session. I hope you like it. So
secure, I think secure is and no matter which kind of tool, I mean, we showed JFrog tools, but there are other tools, and you don't need to use the tool that will close all the gaps from A to Z. You can start with the progress to secure your supply chain, right?
Right.
And govern, because your company using, as said before, others' codes, and you need to govern this, because it will keep getting malicious, and bad actors are getting more. They're trying other methods all the time, and they will not stop. I mean, they're always there, and they're becoming more sophisticated with the time.
Super sophisticated, yeah.
It's kind of a cat and a mouse. If we are in cat
if
stuff.
you like the cat stuff, that's smart. All
Yeah.
right, and of course we want to have a managed package or a repository manager or whatever you want to have there as your kind of a trusted place, right? To make sure that you can use it, you can trust it, the packages scan or not, and stuff like that. And here is our trusted AI tool, right? AI is everywhere, and everybody loves AI. I'm really a huge fan of it, and I can play with stuff for an hours.
Like Mario showed at the begining, it's like 3 months and
like
it's exploded.
It's crazy, 3 months. And we need something that we can trust on. So whenever we know that we have a strong company that created it or support it, like in our case, Copilot, that we can easily use it for our cases. And the last thing was integrity, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about integrity?
Absolutely. So integrity, some of us know about the SolarWinds issue with where some bad actors took advantage after it was already signed and certificated and was published. It's a vulnerable that exposed big companies, even energy companies, to risk, and it caused some panic in the US. And basically, integrity is also something that you need to implement. So check out about signing. There are some great projects like Sigstore and other helping you ensure integrity. And there are many tools, but just check about integrity of your package, because you need to sign it. You need to have SBOM, which is kind of your ingredient list of your application.
And it's kind of part of the regulation going to be soon, or already in.
Yeah. In the US, it's going to be applied very soon. It's kind of regulation that company can be asked within 7 years. Please provide me with an SBOM of version X.1, and they will need to provide it in order to stand in some regulations. Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm not sure that we have enough time for a Q&A. That if you want to talk to us later and ask some question, you can easily reach out to us in our email, LinkedIn, whatever you want. It was a pleasure to be here today. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Batel.
Thank you, Jonathan. It was super fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. The connection between the cats. So today we had a cat theme. It was really, really fun. And also it was an amazing view to see how you are leveraging Copilot. And also for anyone that is watching, I do recommend you to check out JFrog products, services, and also tune to see the great sessions by Jonathan and yes, of course, and Batel. If we have any question, do we have Yerden on the chat? So please pop them. Let's see. And if not, so maybe you can share that on our internal chat, and we can go through to the materials and the resources that we want to equip everyone. So Yerden, let us know. Okay, so I guess that the answer is not. So if you're gonna have any, please, we're gonna answer that on the chat, and also feel free to reach out to Jonathan and Batel to ask any questions that you might have on JFrog as well, in addition to Copilot. Okay. So we discussed when we want to sum up this session, we already touched those points on how and what you should do next. So we shared those links on the chat on how to learn more about the DevOps solution, GitHub. You got the links also from Rory and from us about the free velocity code, and again a little bit about the partners. So how Microsoft, the way that Microsoft is operating is that we are leveraging the amazing net of partners that we have that will help you to create your own project. So you can go to our Microsoft the partners platform and reach out to which partners that you have that will be gonna be from your location, from your area, and will be able to support you with the specific area and domain that you want to create project with. So you can check them out on the partner finder. And let's go to the next slide. If you are Microsoft account or customer, you can also reach out to us to go to envisioning workshop, whether it's about GitHub, where it might be around AI project or some data, IaaS, whatever you need, we can work with you on having those envisioning, or to support you with the latest innovation that we have, and we are leading in the market to create your own project, and then go to POC, and then help you to move it to production with the Azure Innovate offering and programs. So lastly, we know that the majority of us working on injecting AI into our program, project and product. So we wanted to equip you with a really amazing cheat sheet about AI to different kind of stakeholders, whether you are an executive, you are a business decision maker, developer that is implementing AI case studies, end user, M365 engineer. So for each one of you, there are clickable links on the cheat chat. You can go to you can see we have everything from responsible AI to Microsoft 365, business cases, how to get started, Azure OpenAI, the rest of the the libraries that we have, small model languages, a lot of things for you, and you can click this, you can scan this QR code to get the this link to the cheat sheet, but also to the rest of some of the materials that we shared, like the Reactor website, where you can see the upcoming events. Also to some of the virtual training that we have, which are full days of learning, links to the series that we're now working on. Let's go to the next one. If we have any other slide, and if not, I will share on the chat. If you liked this session, it seems that is freeze. I'm not sure if you can hear me because it's frozen on my end. So we have a new series that is called Building Intelligent Apps, with a lot of great sessions. No, it's froze. Okay. So you can hear me, and now I'm back. So we want to thank you all for joining us today, to wish to some of you a great rest of the day, and to some of you that is evening or night, a great night, great sleep. We are welcoming you to join us tomorrow on our next session for the Gen AI for Developers. Amazing session by Maya Shavin. She's speaker, Microsoft R&D engineer, but she's speaking on stages all around the world, and you don't want to miss that. And please also write to us, what is it that you would like us to have sessions on? What is it that you want to hear? We want to bring you the best case studies, the best startups out there, to show you the case studies and how they are developing Gen AI application, or using the best tools out there to support you. And thank you again.